Hi guys, this is Florian Santos. I'm a strategic interventionist, uh, certified life coach. I'm also intuitive, and sometimes I do these videos very randomly because something will come to me that tells me to share a story. And so I guess my whole point of these videos that I'm doing is to help you to de-stress. Now, I can't predict what everybody's going through in these times. Some of you look like you're having a good time on Facebook. And I know anxiety is setting in. So just know that we're all in this together and anxiety will be there. So a lot of the things that I share are all for this de-stressing. So if you ever see me making a video, it's with my heart that I'm giving these free videos for you to ponder on, because it's very, very basic. I started a video a few days ago, and it's just all about breathing. And I just want to recap on it in case this is the first time you're tuning in with me. This is about everything beginning from I, as in I am, because everything is measured from that point to the outside world. And I wanted you to be able to realize that it's something that we have no control of. What's happening there, we have no control of. But we do have control of the chatter that goes on in our mind. There's a constant chatter, especially if you are in isolation because you're having this conversation. But know that this chatter is coming from you and your belief. It's not new. It's not something you're hearing from it's a chatter. And so mindfulness really comes from just being in the moment, okay? Because in the moment, you are centered. If you're thinking about tomorrow, it's not this, it's that, okay? So you really have to pay attention to taking care of yourself. And most of my remedies that I share with you are all holistic. They're simple things. It's as simple as breathing. It's as simple as drinking water. But I have to explain why these things are important. They're all around us. It's so simple. Why can't you just breathe? Why can't you just drink water? We don't. Why can't you just pause? We don't. So today, I'd like to talk to you about equilibrium and disequilibrium, okay? Disequilibrium, of course, is when things are a little uncomfortable and you're feeling a little bit rocky, and equilibrium is when everything is going well. Hi, Roger. I get distracted and then I lose it, so I'll just keep my eyes on, when things are going well. Disequilibrium is a balance. It happens. For example, okay, I'm a really big on child psychology because everything really starts from preschool and what you feed into the little minds. They're like sponges. So if you're paying attention, or if you've had children, you'll realize this, that when a child is born, they're fine, they're lovely, and then suddenly they start to be fussy. They don't like what you're doing. That's a disequilibrium time. And during the disequilibrium time, it's the time you're being tested. It's the time you're uncomfortable. It's the time when you don't know what's next. It's the time that you are insecure. And that's okay. But that equilibrium time and disequilibrium time is a time of growth. It's a stepping stone to get you through the next stage. And if you try to hold yourself back by nature, you're going to have a hard time. For example, you're 35 years old and you're still living with your parents because you can't move out. Well, you have a lot of issues that are problems that's going to be happening in your life because you didn't grow. Because you want to stay that age forever. Nature will force you to grow. Nature will happen. And at that point, you become a little bit more cautious, you learn a little bit. So, for instance, you're starting a new job, and that's uncomfortable. Then you become comfortable with it, then you're doing it well, and you're doing it right. So, back to being stressed at this time and de-stressing. Know that this is a stage. It is a life stage, and every time there is a life stage, there's uncomfortableness. Having a baby is a life stage. Getting married is a life stage. Buying a house is a life stage. And when that life stage happens, you feel the disequilibrium, okay? Our country, the universe, goes through the same thing. What has happened in the past? We've had World War I, we've had World War II, we've had the AIDS epidemic, we've had, in our own lifetime, seen this happen. It's just right now it is difficult because it's happening right now. So I want for you to know we have no control of that. That is not in our control. Make sure you're still doing your breathing. Make sure you're drinking your water. And I don't know when, but I would like to lead sort of a visual de-stressing meditation group. I'm just a real random person. Okay, I do it at the time that I think it's happening. But I want to also share a new story, staying away from that. This is a story that my spiritual guide just told me I have to share because of these difficult times. When my daughter was in preschool, we were in a co-op group, and during one of the meetings, somehow I saw her from across the room, and something wasn't right. I didn't know this woman very well. In fact, we've never really talked because I was new. But I saw something, and I wasn't sure what it was. I think it was her behavior. I was kind of observing that she was her way of joking and her way of doing things. I thought she's gone through some hard times because of her attitude. Something told me she's had some hard times, and that's all I know. So one day I was driving, and I was passing by her house, and I thought, I gotta stop and knock on her door. I didn't even think about it. I just did. I just stopped and I knocked on her front door. She opened the door, and she was covered with a white bed sheet, and the water was running in the bathtub. And what came out of my mouth, I know that I was being spiritually led. This is the intuitive part of me that was really in its height at this period. I didn't even know why I was standing there. I had no idea why I was even talking to her. And I was aware of what I was doing, but I don't know why. I was just following my instinct. And I said to her, you must have had a very hard life. And she looked at me with puzzle. And I said, because you have a great sense of humor, and I can see that you really have a good way about you. And then for some reason this conversation, I was still standing outside the door, bathtub was still running. She finally asked me to come in, and she just listened the entire time. I just kept talking and told her that I had a hard life and that it was very difficult, and I shared my story with her. And then she said to me, or she went to turn off the water, by the way. And then she told me her story. And her story was something that was not, that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Her mother had schizophrenia, and they were Jehovah's Witnesses. So one child, and this mother just did everything. She just was a crazy woman raising this child. And when she was about 17, something else had happened. Her mother had taken her life, and the suicide letter was for her man, and it was really hard for this girl. Then she finally confessed to me that she was getting ready to take her life when I knocked on the door. She was getting ready to slit her wrist. And she wasn't at her mother's age yet. She and I then became friends. And I'm happy to say that she had another child. She met a really nice man. Oh my God, I'm feeling spirituality all over me. I feel it when it's on my skin. And she's living in Hawaii and just having a great time in her life. And whenever we talk, we're not in contact, but we know the people to, she went on with her life and I went on with mine. But the Spirit just told me to share that today, because don't underestimate your future. There are a lot of people out there that are having depression and are suicidal. I want you to seek help. There is tomorrow. I've been there, and I'm reaching out to you. If you want to call me, you can. If you want to contact me, you can. These are very, very hard times. So I'm just letting you know. That's the videos you're going to get from me. They're all about being holistic and being down to earth. And the cure is by nature. And that's about it. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye, Roger.